What's up everybody, it's KelseeBrianaJai here with an exciting video. I have been highly anticipating the launch of Pat McGrath's new eyeshadow palettes, and I finally got my hands on mine. So today is the day that we do a review, swatches, and a tutorial using this bad boy. There's so much buzz surrounding these eyeshadow palettes right now. How gorgeous is this? These launched both on her website as well as on Sephora. I ordered mine from Sephora because I'm all about that free 2-day shipping, even though sometimes it's 3 days. Come on, Sephora. So she launched 3 eyeshadow palettes and I got 1. So this is not her first venture into eyeshadow. She actually released eyeshadow singles last year, and this year is the first time she's released her entire palette. So she released 3 palettes and they are $125 each, or there was a bundle on her website where you can order them all together for $300, so you would save $75. Or if these are around during the Sephora VIB sale, then you can save 20% off of them, making them $100 anyways. But at the rate that these are going, these are selling out like hot cakes. These have not been in stock consistently since they've launched on Sephora.com. Some fortunate stores will have these palettes in stock, so make sure you check your location or call to see. They're launching in store on October 20th. Where I live, we don't carry Pat McGrath. When I was in California and I was in the Sephora on Hollywood Boulevard, like in that little shopping area, they had an entire display of her products, which I'm so jealous about. I wish that she had that in all of the stores. The quality of this is just so top notch. Like, I can't even wait to get into that. So like I said, $125. So of the 3 palettes, I got the third one. This one is the Mothership III Subversive palette, and this one is the more purple themed palette, although there's a good mix of a lot of different colors in here. So of the 3 palettes, they all have different themes. The first one is the Mothership I Subliminal, and that one is the blue toned palette, and that one has like the more cool tones in there, so like the taupes and the dustier grayish colors, and then the pop of blue and gold, and then that really pretty shift of blue colors at the end. And then I was kind of going back and forth between getting the second one and the third one, which when the second one comes back in stock on Sephora.com, I probably will get it just because I have to have that gold and that green. Like, I was hardcore going back and forth. But the second one is the Sublime palette, and this one is the more warm tone eyeshadow palette. So it has the browns, and then like I said, it has that really pretty pop of gold and green in it, and then it has like the duochrome shifts in it on some of the other eyeshadows. So that one is sold out on Sephora right now. That one is currently sold out on Sephora.com, but you can sign up to be notified when they restock it. That's what I did because I need to have that come home with me. And then the third one is the one that I have, and that one is the Subversive palette. I think this one is the most neutral of the 3, so this one doesn't lean cool toned or warm toned. And you guys know that purples are all the trend right now, so I was like, should I buy another purple eyeshadow palette? Yes, because it's different than the other ones that I have. So the description on Sephora's website says that this is a wardrobe of textures and dazzling hues come together in a couture color palette presented in a luxe lacquered case. And it says provoke creativity and heighten beauty with rich color opulence that allows you to use makeup as wearable art. This curated collection of richly pigmented velvety hues features vivid jewel tones, classic neutrals, and high impact shades that glide on smoothly to highlight, line, and define eyes for unlimited looks. The hybrid cream infused powder formulations release infinitely smooth and extremely buildable pigments to achieve seamless color transitions with unprecedented buildability. The perfect balance of gorgeous finishes blend, highlight, and adorn lids with exquisite light reflective effects and true color radiance. Tailor-made beauty gives voice to your artistic impulses for luxury at your fingertips. 10 divinely decadent shades include vivid violets, mutilational blues, sumptuous greens, and iconic matte neutrals. And that's the description for my eyeshadow palette. The description for the Mothership I Subliminal palette is 10 richly pigmented shades include breathtaking blues and violets, polymorphic jewels, lustrous golds, and iconic matte neutrals. And the description for the second one, the Sublime palette, is 10 richly pigmented hues include fiery coppers, poetic pinks, polymorphic jewels, brilliant bronze, and iconic matte neutrals. So these eyeshadow palettes are very unique in the fact that they have these really beautiful duochrome shift changing eyeshadows. These palettes also have staple colors that you may need. And for the most part, I didn't have to reach outside of the palette to create an entire look. So let's just go ahead and overview the palette. So the packaging deserves a video and review of its own in its entirety by itself. Let's give it a moment. It reminds me so much of just 80s couture and just the overall high-end glamour fashion. I personally think that over the topness is gone now. Everybody's just super casual, super laid back. I miss the days where people like really dressed up, and for me, this eyeshadow palette reminds me of just opulence. I feel like the description was super spot on for how this palette makes me feel. So then we have this situation, which I've never seen on an eyeshadow palette. This reminds me of like old school files. And so then once you open this, the palette is now sitting here. This is the palette. Like, how luxe and high-end does this look? This looks like a treasure that I found hidden in a pyramid in the deep crevices of Egypt. That's what it makes me feel like. It's so heavy. It feels expensive. Here is not just printed on, it's like jewels encrusted into the palette, and these look like hieroglyphs. On the back it's again mirrored, and it says Pat McGrath Labs, Mothership, used without caution, shade throwing and eye ecstasy, may result with prolonged use. And this is made in Italy. Once you open up the palette, you have this really nice high-end mirror. Like, this reminds me of an antique jewelry case. You know how stuff back in the day used to be such high quality, but nowadays like things just aren't like that. This reminds me of something that my grandma had like in her jewelry case. So here are the 10 eyeshadows, and I feel like the eyeshadows are presented in such a beautiful manner. I feel like it tells a story, and I definitely am inspired looking at it to create different looks. So the reason why I chose this eyeshadow palette over the other two is because I feel like this one is the one that has a good mix of all of the colors in there. So this eyeshadow palette has the black and has the brown, which are great quality, and they blend it out really nicely. They're very richly pigmented, so you don't have to keep going over and over and over with it, which is the case a lot of times when you're dealing with deeper colors. These are very smooth and velvety. But then also it has these really pretty colors for the lid, which I personally prefer because I have a ton of neutral eyeshadows. So when I have the more unique shades in a palette, that's what I am looking for. I love the look that I created with this eyeshadow palette. I think it's so pretty and sparkly, and I love that the eyeshadows have such shifts to them. The names are not printed on the palette. They are included in a little card that is sitting in the bottom of the box. But these are huge. These are 10 eyeshadows here, and honestly, I probably will never run through this palette. Some of the eyeshadow pans have more products in them than others. The following 6 have 1.2 grams of products or 0.042 ounces of product: Skin Show, Night Creature, Deep Shade, Extreme Black, and Lazarus. And then the other 4 have 1.5 grams of products or 0.053 ounces of products: Gigabyte, Black Amethyst, VR Pink, and Astro Ghost. I personally want this for collector's purposes because I'm a huge fan of Pat McGrath. I feel like she's so creative and she's such a visionary in the makeup artistry world, and I always want to support whenever she comes out with something because number 1, she's a dope makeup artist, but then also number 2, she's a dope Black woman in the makeup artistry realm. And then for her to come out with this makeup line that's high end, that's also something that you don't see very often. So I definitely want to make sure I always support her. But these eyeshadows are absolutely gorgeous. I would recommend getting it just for the packaging alone because the packaging has just blown me away. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the swatches of this eyeshadow palette so that way you guys can see every single shade. And then following that, I'm going to do the tutorial of my eyes. And if you want to see pictures of this look, make sure you head over to my Instagram. It's at KelseeBrianaJai. And make sure you follow me there as well. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy. Doesn't have any shades to set my paint pot. I've already done that, and I also need to go into another eyeshadow for a transition color. So I'm just going to take Makeup Geek Tan Lines for my transition color. I'm going to take the color Deep Shade. This is a MAC 286 brush. I'm going to apply that directly into the crease underneath my transition color that I added outside of the palette. Oh, that's going on so smoothly. I'm going to take this a little bit further into the inner corner as well, but not all the way in. Now going in with Extreme Black, I'm going to place this on my outer corner. This is going to add some intensity to the look, and since I'm applying it with a fluffier brush, it's not going to be as intense. Switching to a flat shader brush, this is a MAC 242. I am going to take the color Skin Show Fever. I'm going to lightly apply this underneath the arch of my brow and blend it downwards. And then with the same brush and the same color, I'm going to pat this on my inner tear duct. Now we're going to move into the color that I'm most excited about, Gigabyte. I'm going to first apply it dry and see what it looks like, and then I do want to go in and dampen my brush to intensify it. And I'm going to pack this on. I got a little bit of fallout from that, but just sweep that off and it'll be fine. That's a really pretty color. It has more of a blackened shift in it than I actually thought it did. I'm going to take that color on my brush. I'm going to take some Fix Plus with a wet brush. This color goes from, oh, that's pretty, to, oh my gosh, that's magical. Like, look at that. That looks absolutely beautiful. And I love how it plays off of the rich browns and blacks that I put on my eyes. So now what I'm going to do is finish off my face, and then I'll come back and then we'll do the lower lash line together. So I've pretty much finished off the majority of my makeup. I will have all the details listed down below if you are curious about what's on my face. But now let's go ahead and finish our eye look. Switching to a pencil brush, this is a Wayne Goss pencil brush. I'm going to take the color Night Creature. I'm definitely going to go straight in with this in Fix Plus. I am going to apply that to my inner lower lash line. That's pretty. That's a pretty pop of violet. So now I absolutely have to put this on the rest of the lower lash line. This one is the color Blitz Amethyst. Again, I'm going to go straight in with Fix Plus. That's so pretty. So now I'm just going to pop on some mascara on the lower lash line and we'll be done. So this is the final look. I think it turned out really pretty. I definitely think that these colors are colors that I don't have in my collection, nor are these colors that I see every day. The packaging is A1. This is definitely a stunning addition to my collection. This is a displayer piece for sure. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Will you be picking up any of the Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes? As well as she released a whole slew of lipsticks. So if you've tried any colors that are your favorites, let me know that as well. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on all social media accounts. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will check you all in the very next video, which will be extremely soon. Smooches!